We take a look at the historic Riverview Cemetery. It's one of the oldest cemeteries in Parkersburg and serves as a final resting place for many local and historical figures. Our LV Hissam takes a closer look into the people and history associated with the cemetery in this week's This Is Home.
This is Home, sponsored by Levitt Funeral Services and Crematory and A1 Heating and Cooling.
Riverview Cemetery is a historic final resting place for many notable persons from the Parkersburg area, with the first grave being interred in 1801. Judith Smith is the president of the Board of Trustees of Parkersburg for the Riverview Cemetery. She recounted how it came to be.
Mr. Parker, who is the person that Parkersburg is named for, bought a tract of land of about 2,400 acres. And this was part of it. And then sometime later, Joseph Cook came to the area and purchased a great deal of that land. And the Cook House on Murdock Avenue was built by his son, Tillinghast Cook, and this was part of their farm. And they started the Cook family cemetery here, and you'll hear it called that still today.
Being one of the oldest cemeteries in Parkersburg, there are many notable people from the area who have made Riverview their final resting place. Given that Riverview was the place to be buried for quite some time, many of the people interred here were mostly of notable families throughout the area, from businessmen all the way up to politicians.
Probably one of the most prominent is Peter Godwin Van Winkle. He was our first, after we became a state, he was one of two senators, U.S. senators. And he got tied up in a situation whereby Andrew Johnson was to be impeached or not, and he was the deciding vote. Senator Van Winkle voted that he not be impeached. And this was not popular. So he was never elected as anything the rest of his life.
One of the most well-known graves at the cemetery features a statue known by locals as the Weeping Woman. Smith says that while folklore has built up around the statue, that the history behind it and the significance behind the Jackson family that she prays over are of greater importance.
It was purchased by the brother of Governor Jackson, John J. Jackson Jr., to kind of just mark the Jackson family plot. It is not, as many think, to be illustrated as Lily Irene Jackson, but that is not the case. It was simply purchased as a person praying for the family.
Riverview is a home to a wide array of historical figures and people throughout the community, with many interesting stories to be told about the people in the area, even the unexpected, especially one person's grave with a headstone marked in Mandarin Chinese.
There was a family who had Chinese cleaners in Parkersburg. The matriarch of that family passed away and was buried here in Riverview. And it is said that her son later came and took her remains back to China because it was the belief that to enter heaven, she needed to be there.
The cemetery also acts as a resting place to many veterans from every American war dating back to the American Revolution. Smith says that the stories of all the people in Riverview are something that she hopes everybody can enjoy and appreciate.
There are so many wonderful stories and so many really great people who are interred here. And it's just interesting. Every turn you make in Riverview, there's somebody else that you need to hear their story.
LV Hissam for WTAP News. This is Home.